Welcome to this beautiful new home. While the home itself is phenomenal, our focus today is on transforming this kitchen and pantry to maximize efficiency. You might not see a dramatic before and after, but you'll learn invaluable tips on organizing your kitchen like a pro. Good morning. We are back in business. We are off to organize a kitchen and pantry. This is a move-in today. Stay tuned. Here's a tour of the kitchen before we started the organization project. You might notice some green tape on the cabinets. That's my team member Cheryl working with the kitchen plan in one hand and painter's tape in the other, marking cabinets for where items might go based on our initial plan. I'll explain more about this shortly. So a bit of context. This family moved into their new home 2 weeks ago, but since I was away visiting family, we couldn't unpack them right away. They did their best to move everything and temporarily stowed items in the cabinets to maintain a sense of normalcy until my team and I could come in and give their belongings a proper home. Their previous kitchen was larger with more storage, so we're facing a bit of a challenge fitting everything into this new, beautifully designed but more compact space. Our task is to find logical homes for everything, keeping the new layout and cabinet dimensions in mind. This involves some creative problem solving because we're often working with odd-sized items that need a permanent home while accommodating our clients' storage preferences. So nothing's ever perfect, but we strive to create the most ideal and efficient solution for our clients. When working on a project like this, I first take an inventory of what's coming from the old home, and then I request the millwright drawings of the new space. This allows me to loosely plan where the client's items will go by zone. So I create a serving zone, a prep zone, a cooking zone, a baking zone, a zone to store appliances, a food storage zone, a coffee or beverage zone, and a kid-friendly zone. Of course, things never go according to plan because there's always a shelf that's either not adjustable or an item that's just too large for the allocated space. So nothing's ever set in stone, but it gives us a starting point. As we empty the cabinets, we group like items together. This helps us see how much there is in each category before we decide on final placement. As you can see here, we're sorting the pantry contents. Like I always say, it always looks worse before it looks better. And it came together beautifully. The final setup is what I want to showcase for you today because it'll explain why things ended up where they did. So let's walk through it together. In the serving zone, which is on the path to the dining room and to the left of the stove, we stored plates above in these upper cabinets. I try to keep 8 plates of each item available on the first shelf, which is easiest to grab from. To the left, we have the bowl cabinet, ideal here because it's within the walkway to the dining table and directly across from the dishwasher. This arrangement makes it easy to set the table and unload the dishwasher. Directly beneath, we have the flatware drawer set up in a beautiful expandable bamboo tray. It's close to the plates, making it convenient to grab on your way to the table. Next to it is the servingware drawer, also set up in a matching expandable bamboo tray. This is close to the dining table and the stove, making it ideal for dishing out food. It's also across from the dishwasher, making unloading a breeze. And then we have our infamous kid-friendly drawer. When clients have small children, we like to create a drawer that kids can easily access, holding all their cups, plates, and cutlery. As kids grow, this drawer becomes the lunch packing drawer holding lunch boxes, to-go bottles, and lunch containers. We like to include this drawer in an area that won't see a lot of congestion, so mornings aren't so chaotic. To the right of the stove, closer to the fridge, we have their glassware in an upper cabinet. With their stemware stored in their lower level bar kitchen, we optimize the space for their frequently used glassware, keeping it minimal and uncluttered. And then we have our baking zone, which is a bit convoluted, I admit, because we would have wanted to include everything together. But since our client rarely bakes, it wasn't super important to optimize this zone and give it prime real estate. It's still close enough to the prep area on the kitchen island, and most but not all items are within vicinity of each other. And you'll understand more of what I mean when I get to the pantry. So this is the baking accessories drawer, followed by this pretty pink drawer of baking bowls, which kind of look like bubble gum. And then a baking canister drawer. I would have preferred to have this drawer in the pantry. However, that area was earmarked for pull-out fridge drawers. So placing them next to the baking bowls and baking accessories made the most logical sense. In the cooking and prep zones, we have a spice pull-out to the left of the stove, filled with matching spice jars and labels. I think these jars with the black bamboo lids are just so pretty. Underneath, we stored oils and vinegars in an acrylic bin in effort to protect the shelves. Under the stove, we've stored pots and pans. Pretty straightforward because it was well designed. So we have the pan drawer, followed by the pot drawer. To the right of the stove, we have a pullout with a neat knife storage feature. This was custom to the build, and I think it's a nice addition. We've also filled the bottom of this pullout with backstock spices that we've contained in an acrylic bin. Over to the right of the pullout, we have the cooking utensils. Now, there's a few prep items in this drawer, and we couldn't help ourselves because we wanted to go with the red theme, which was just visually appealing. But don't stress, because directly across from this drawer in the kitchen island, we have the prep drawer. We often include at least one prep drawer in the island because most people like to prep facing their living room or family room so that they can keep their eyes on their kids. We also included their more frequently used cutting boards in the drawer directly underneath the cooking utensils. In an ideal situation, we would have had the knife pull-out include space for all cutting boards. However, it wasn't possible here. We only included the cutting boards that would be most frequently used in this drawer, and the rest went in the tray storage area, which you'll see later. And directly under this drawer is what we nicknamed the green drawer. This includes an assortment of Tupperware branded items which could be used for prep, storage, or baking. This worked fine here as all these items are surrounded by these zones. Over to the right of this, we have items used for prep like the cheese grater, the salad spinner, and the strainers. Prep and cooking get prime real estate in this kitchen, and it fits perfectly in our working triangle. And to the right of this, we have the casseroles and bakeware located directly above and underneath the wall ovens. Since they didn't have custom inserts installed, we added these tray dividers to the shelf to store baking pans. And that dang rarely used angel food cake mold we placed on the higher shelf because no sense giving it a prime storage spot when it gets rarely used. So the next zone we created was the storage zone. This zone includes a drawer for items used to store food after dinner is done. I love to locate this zone near the most logical landing space by the fridge. It's a space you tend to go to when you're done dinner and wrapping up leftovers. So we have a drawer for items like baggies, saran wrap, aluminum foil, what I call my wrapping drawer. You'll notice I didn't opt for a custom insert for these because nothing would quite cover the large Costco size aluminum foil and parchment paper. Below this drawer, we have the storage container drawer. I love that all their containers match. Now, you'll have to forgive me because I only have one quick shot of this drawer filled because when I came back to shoot this video, many of the containers were in use, but at least I got a quick clip of it filled. And then we have the cleanup zone with a drawer close to the sink for linen storage that we've file folded and divided with these beautiful bamboo drawer dividers. And then we've got the under sink cabinet used to store cleaning products and garbage bags. We like to keep everything in clear acrylic bins, which keeps it all looking so tidy. Because the pantry doesn't provide deep drawers with lots of storage, we had to get creative. So we added a breakfast zone in this upper cabinet, closer to the pantry, but within the main traffic area of the kitchen. Here we included their breakfast cereals as well as a turntable filled with medicines that are used daily. This breakfast zone is close to their pancake mixes located in the baking drawer to the left of the stove. We pulled breakfast out of the pantry since space is a bit tight in there and you don't want kids reaching for cereal while you're trying to brew your morning coffee. All right, now let's head on over to the butler's pantry, my favorite area of this transformation. A butler's pantry serves as an additional storage and prep space equipped with a countertop, cabinet, sink, and sometimes additional appliances like in this case, refrigerator drawers. It's a functional space that helps keep the main kitchen clear and organized. Our clients aren't using it to prep, cook, or bake, but it's a great space to make the best cup of coffee in the morning. So here you'll find a coffee zone, a fresh zone, a kids snack zone, an appliance zone, and a food storage zone. In the coffee zone, our client requested to keep their machine close to the sink, so we turned it a bit to allow them more counter space for preparation. And then directly above the machine in the upper cabinet, we filled it with coffee mugs and tea mugs. And then in the other cabinet above the coffee maker, we have the water pitchers, followed by the to-go mugs that are laying in an acrylic bottle holder. Underneath these, we have coffee mugs, which are easy to reach when you're making your coffee. And since this corner cabinet opens quite awkwardly over the coffee maker, we used it to store infrequently used items. And it worked out perfectly because we needed to maximize every square inch. And our coffee zone wouldn't be complete without our infamous coffee drawer. With a few drawer dividers, we were able to create sections so that everything pertaining to hot beverages has a home. We even used a tea bin, which allows you to organize your teas by flavor. Our fresh zone consists of just one drawer. And I want to be clear, not everyone has a fresh zone because some just keep their breads and pastries in their fridge. And while it would have made sense to include this drawer in the breakfast zone of the kitchen, our client wanted to keep their toaster in their pantry. So this is why we created a zone for them to store their breads and pastries. But looking back, I wish I would have included the peanut butter here. And when there's kids, we often include a kids snack zone. In this case, it's just a drawer where we did away with the large packaging for kids snacks and we organized them by kind in our acrylic bin inserts. In this lower corner cabinet, we stored the large bags of chips and our client added backstock soda. While we normally like to keep these cabinets for appliances, the appliances that they have are just too tall or too heavy for this space. Also, the remaining drawers in the pantry are too shallow to fit the large Costco-sized bags, so it made sense to have these here since you're typically not reaching into this cabinet while making your morning coffee. And we have the refrigerator drawers, which is a nice bonus for drinks. Also nice to have your barista milk blends close to where you're making your coffee. In the next zone, we have appliances. We opted to move these here because of height and depth limitations in the other cabinets. Overall, they made sense here as well. Directly below is our food zone. Here, we've displayed canned goods on tiered shelving, which allows our clients to see what they have. Directly below this in the drawer, we included more meal prep ingredients, which we've organized by category in acrylic bins. Below this drawer is the snack drawer, followed by a drawer filled with backstock spices in one bin, baking ingredients in another, and treats in the last. And then we needed to find a place for their beautiful glass canisters and we landed on these two upper cabinets. This put them within sight line of the kitchen so that you never have to worry if a cabinet door is left open. It always looks simple and pretty. We also opted to include their recipe books here as well so that they can easily be used. And then under the pantry sink, we have some of their larger bulk oils and vinegars, as well as their large bag of dog food. The dog food will soon be moving out of the pantry, which will make space for a clear acrylic bin with dish soap or additional appliance storage. Hey, if you like watching this video, make sure you check out my Shop With Me at Costco and Shop With Me at IKEA videos. In these, I share what I buy for my home organizing clients. And if you want more of this type of content, make sure you hit the subscribe button below.